sure. Now, I will tell you right now that they can't really hear you, especially in the back. It's mostly just me and what the screenshot is of my content that is on my computer. Luke, did you have a question?
Yeah, I don't have that. I had Friday, I had it here.
Okay, well, Luke, I don't have 1,000 copies, dude.
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
Okay, well, I've gotten like 100 kids today, so I am out. I can have one for you tomorrow, and I did give you a copy, yes?
Yeah, you did, but I put it in here, I don't know where it went.
So someone robbed you, is that what I'm hearing, Luke? Someone was really jealous of your Declaration of Independence? Okay, so try finding it. Worst case, I'll have one for you tomorrow, but unfortunately, I've gotten like 30 new kids today. You didn't look twice before you decided to talk about it? Cool. All right, here we go. So, everyone should have their Declaration of Independence out in front of them. We did start working on it on Friday. Now, do you have one? Okay, I am officially out. Nope, I got one. Whew. Perfect. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we started working on this on Friday. There are 9 primary sources. We'll always do the sources together. You will be turning them in for points. Remember, I literally just call on you. It is not volunteer. It is complete selection. I am completely fine with you getting an answer wrong. I have a huge problem with you having nothing to say. Is everyone clear on the difference between the two? Friendly reminder, tomorrow you have your last vocab quiz for a little bit, actually. You do get a nice little break from them. 21 through 30, your vocab is tomorrow. Make sure you're ready to go. I will tell you, I think tomorrow's vocab is one of the hardest of the year because it's all your articles for your Constitution. So definitely take some time and go through them. I do think it's tricky. And of course, just so you know, I did pick the articles because that's just who I am. Okay, so 21 through 30 is tomorrow. Okay, a couple things. We did start annotating on Friday because I use every moment of my period with you. There's a couple things I do want to point out for you. The Declaration of Independence is broken up into 3 sections. You have the preamble, which is the first. Okay, you have the second paragraph, which is the justification. And then you have from down here on, these are your list of complaints. So, your Declaration of Independence is broken up into 3 sections. The preamble is very easy to understand. The justification, as we're going to read here in a few minutes, has lots of very big words and is a little complicated. The list of complaints is very simplistic. Why would Thomas Jefferson make the preamble and the list of complaints simplistic? What is the goal, Emily? So everyone can understand it. Now, who is this written to? This is to who directly? The Declaration of Independence is a declaration to who? Who is this for? Who haven't I spoken to yet? Alice, who is this to? This is written to a specific person on one side, in one way. The King of England, yes, okay. So this is written to the King of England, okay? It's to the king, but it also serves another purpose. What is the other purpose of this document, Brooklyn? Who else is supposed to read this? Is this a closed letter or an open letter? It's an open letter. Who is supposed to be reading this, Duncan? Brooklyn? The people. Okay, you can't just say the people. Who is those people? The colonists. So it is for the king, of course, and the colonists. That is the purpose. The purpose of this piece is for the king and the colonists. Why is this an open letter to the colonists? What is the point of that, Catherine?
So they can agree with it and want to all go against some other.
Yes, to do what? Well, how do you gain your freedom from a king? Unless you're Canada, there's only one way to do it. No, really. Canada's the only country that said, hey, we'd like our independence. And England was like, oh, Canada, we love you. Of course. Have your independence. This is signed in 1776. What immediately happens in 1770? Yeah, the War of Independence. But yes. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, it's a call to arms. Yes? Okay? It's laying out the reasons why we should fight, why we should go to war. Technically, it's written to the king, but really, Thomas Jefferson wanted to get who all riled up? The colonists. Yes, because you can't fight a war if there's only 4 people on your side. You had to have the majority. Here we go. Okay, so we started on the front, so I'm not going to read that. I'm going to go to the justification. Here we go. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the 9 documents you have to understand. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. What does unalienable mean? What do you got for me, David? Yeah, they can't be taken away. So, they cannot be voided. Cannot be taken away. Then among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their powers from the consent of the governed. He uses this word this phrase on purpose. It comes from what document? Alex, you better pick that head up, dude. What document gives us that turn of phrase? Jack? No, it's not. Consent of the governed is an Enlightenment idea. So what British government document is created during the Enlightenment? What do you got, Luke?
Consent of the governed.
Consent of the governed is in what British document? Guys, we covered 2 British documents. Magna Carta and?
I know the second one, but I just forgot.
Think with me, Luke. Marin. The English Bill of Rights. Yes. Why would Thomas Jefferson quote the English Bill of Rights? Why would he do that, Sophia? Yes. Exactly. Have you ever used your parents' words against them? They say something, and then you're like, but wait a second, you said this, and they're like, shit. And you win the argument? That's what he's doing. He is literally using their own laws and saying you should be doing this, but you're doing this. You're a hypocrite. That's why he says it. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall be, it's been a long day, as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence, indeed, will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient reason. So, ladies and gentlemen, does this take the colonists a long time, or is this a reaction? Is this a slow process or a long process for the colonists? Is this something they decided overnight, or is it something they've been working towards? It's been a long process. This is not short whim. And accordingly, all experience have shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and provide new guards for their future security. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, the American Revolution is the first country to overthrow its oppressors. We are the first country to overthrow It's colonial power. So, is it a big deal or a little deal? It's a big deal. The reason why the British come back as hard as they do is because are we their only colony or do they have lots of colonies? They have lots of colonies. So if we, the Americans, break free, what are all the other colonies going to want? Freedom. So it's a huge chain reaction. America is the first country to overthrow its colonial power. Who's the second? Colonial power or oppressors. Who's the second country to have a revolution? I'm looking at you seniors. Even my juniors should know this answer. I know I taught you this, Alex. Who are my 3 revolutions in order?
American?
Yeah.
Haitian?
No, that's third. French, Haitian. Okay? So, American, French, Haitian. It starts a trigger reaction. And then after Haitian, it goes bonkers. Mexico has like 18 of them. Tons of other countries are going to have rebellions all around the world. So, if you're the first to do it, is it easy or incredibly hard? Hard. And that's what they're trying to argue. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having a direct object, the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. Okay, is the British king a tyrant in 1776 to the British people? What does the word tyrant mean? To be a tyrant means what? Who haven't I talked to? I haven't talked to, let's go, Jake. What's a tyrant? The definition of a tyrant is what?
It's like a ruler.
Okay, but a king is a ruler, and so is a president. They're not tyrants. What makes a tyrant a different type of ruler? Help him out, Caesar. What is a tyrant?
They have like total control and they're like they don't use it for good. They use it for bad.
It depends on what side you're on. Okay, a tyrant means one person has sole power over everything. That's what a tyrant is. Who can give me an example of a tyrant here in 2022? Who would be an example of a tyrant in 2022? David. Who? Yes, Kim Jong-un, of course, of North Korea. He's a tyrant, for sure. Who else would be? What do you got? Putin, absolutely. A lot of Russians do not agree with what Putin's doing. Some Russians do, but a lot of Russians do not. And Putin is still doing whatever the hell Putin wants to do. Okay? That's a tyrant. The people of England do not think the King of England is a tyrant, but we as Americans do. What is the difference? Think back to all the documents. We've talked about it 1,000 times. Why does Thomas Jefferson call him an absolute tyrant? What are we missing that British people get in 1776? Whoa. And? Yes, in what building? In what structure? Parliament. Okay? Absolute tyranny is because no Parliament access, ladies and gentlemen. That is why, at the end of the day, no taxation without representation is because we don't have representation in Parliament. And what document creates Parliament? This is the same question I ask 400 times a day. And what is that answer, Anne? Magna Carta. There we go. Okay, the establishment of absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. Okay, so Thomas Jefferson, his preamble is incredibly catchy. His second paragraph of his justification is layering on, here are the problems, and then we're going to go into a list of complaints. Open up the sheet, please. You'll see that there are questions. I'm giving you 1 minute to answer questions 1 through 7. Right now, at the end of the minute, I'm going to call on you, and you're going to tell me what the answers are. Begin. You need to be thinking with me, please. Going from 1 through 7, please. You have about 20 seconds. Remember, I'm fine with wrong answers, but no answers are not okay. Here we go. All right. Selena, the Declaration of Independence ended the colony's allegiance to what country? Okay, Great Britain is correct, Selena. It is correct. However, in APGov and AP Comparative, we don't use the word Great Britain. And I'm telling you, I'm going to be the largest offender of this because if you're in AP World, you can say Britain, England, UK, Great Britain, and all of those score. In AP Gov and Comparative, you can only use United Kingdom. Is everyone clear on that? Okay, so Selena, you're completely correct when you say, but unfortunately, they care about the language. Okay, so UK, United Kingdom is what it stands for. You have to use United Kingdom, and I will be the largest offender. So if I say England to you, you need to correct me. Because never before in the history of my life has it mattered. And now it does. Here we go. Number 2, who is the main author of the Declaration of Independence, Hannah? We talked about it in the Do Now this morning before class. He's the 3rd president of the United States, Hannah. Thomas Jefferson. I am fine with you just calling him Jefferson. You can always just use last names, but you cannot call him Thomas. You're not friends with Thomas. Okay? You can say Jefferson, you can't just say Thomas. What legislative body / Congress approved the Declaration? By the way, you took a quiz on it on Friday. Everyone should know this answer. Brennan, who is it? No, Constitutional Convention is signed in 1787. This is 1776. What guys, there's 2 Congresses up there, so you have a 50-50 shot. What do you got, Luke?
Stamp Act.
No, absolutely not. That was done in 1767. What is it, Caitlin? There's 2 Congresses up there, people. You have a 50-50 shot.
Now, please pardon this interruption. Moreover, if you're interested in joining the Plant Anime Club... Second, Continental.
See, you got me saying constitutional. Continental. Congress. Okay. 4, a preamble is another word for what? Sophia. Introduction. Perfect.
Contributed the most to PHS in the combined areas of scholastic achievement.
Okay. I know he's a senior, but he doesn't get to go until they say you dismiss seniors. Yes, Luke? Thank you kindly. So, who are the powers of the earth? The preamble is referring to. And what are the United States seeking among them? Who are the powers of the earth? When we say that term, what do they mean, Sydney? No. Guys, it's literally in the text. It's literally there. Flip it over and look. What do you got for me, Reagan? You have the laws of nature. It's the 3rd sentence, 3rd line down, in nature of God. Laws of nature and nature of God and God, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the 2 answers here. What is the document appealing in mankind? Why do they keep using mankind instead of American colonies? Why, Caesar?
Because they feel that they aren't being treated as like humans that are men.
Okay. And is this just limited to this one situation or all situations?
All situations.
It's all situations, all people, not just Americans. So it is not just for the people in the colonies. It is for anyone who is facing no representation in government, no access to equitable laws. Keep that in mind. Okay. 8 through 11. Begin working on them now. We work to the bell. Let's go. See ya. We'll cover it tomorrow. You do not need to finish this for homework. We'll go back through it. Have a lovely day, period.